You know that feeling of being on a financial hamster wheel? It's like you get a raise, you're working harder than ever, but then you look at your bank account at the end of the month and you're still broke. If that hits a little too close to home, trust me, you are not alone. So let's break down exactly why this keeps happening. And more importantly, get into the simple automatic system that can actually build your wealth for good. I mean, it's this crazy paradox, right? You land that better job, maybe you even double your income, but somehow the financial stress just doesn't go away. It sticks around. And listen, you're not imagining things. This is a very, very real phenomenon for so many people. So, what gives? How is that even possible? Is it just that we all have terrible willpower? Nope, not at all. The truth is, there's a system that's almost designed to work against you, and it has a name. It's called lifestyle creep, or the income trap. Think about it. The more money you make, the more the world wants to take it from you. Your phone is listening, serving you targeted ads. Your friends are going on nicer vacations. There is a constant, full-on battle for every single dollar you earn. And trying to fight that war with just your willpower, well, that's a recipe for failure. And if you want to know just how big this problem is, check this out. It's wild. In the US, 1 out of every 3 households making 150 grand a year is still living paycheck to paycheck. Let that sink in. This isn't an income problem. It is a strategy problem. Okay, so if just making more money isn't the silver bullet, then what is? The answer is to stop playing their game and start playing your own. You have to change the rules. This isn't about more discipline or more willpower. It's about building a dead simple automatic system that does the heavy lifting for you. You know, for years, we've all been beaten over the head with this idea that the secret to wealth is budgeting. You got to track every single coffee, every subscription, and honestly, it's exhausting. And for most people, it just doesn't work. The real secret is so much simpler and way more powerful. You have to pay yourself first, automatically. Just think about it for a second. The government doesn't send you a bill and ask you to please budget for your taxes, right? No way. They take their cut automatically, right out of your paycheck before you can even touch it. We need to use that exact same powerful system, but for ourselves. The money for your future gets taken out and invested first. Then you just live on whatever's left. It completely removes discipline from the equation. All right, so this whole system is built on two what I like to call massive wealth escalators. These are the two paths that have reliably created millions of millionaires. So let's dive into escalator number 1, which is all about putting the stock market to work for you without you even thinking about it. So in the US, the go-to tool for this is the 401k. Now, depending on where you're watching from, you might have something with a different name, but the idea is exactly the same. It's basically a special retirement account that lets you automatically invest money straight from your paycheck, and the best part is, it's often with pre-tax dollars. That means you're investing before the government even gets its hands on it. Okay, so what's the magic number here? How much do you actually need to be putting away? Well, when you look at the people who have actually become 401k millionaires, the formula is shockingly simple. On average, they saved 14% of their income. That's it. That is the secret sauce. Think of it like this. You're just investing the first hour of your workday for your future self. That's it. And how were they investing that 14%? Were they doing some complicated, high-risk day trading? Absolutely not. It was the most simple, almost boring allocation you can imagine. About 70% in stocks to get that long-term growth, and 30% in bonds just to keep things stable. See, the key wasn't being a genius who could time the market. It was just about being in the market consistently, letting growth happen. And hey, if you're skeptical about whether this actually works, just look at this number. This is from just one investment company, Fidelity. They have over 654,000 people who've become millionaires just by using their 401ks. This isn't some financial theory, people. This is a proven, well-worn path to wealth. Okay, let's move on to our second wealth escalator. And I'll be honest, this one can be a little controversial, but you just can't argue with the data. We are talking about owning your own home. And the difference here, it is absolutely staggering. Just look at the numbers in the US. The average homeowner, they have a net worth of $400,000. The average renter, just $10,000. That is a 40 times difference. It's insane. So what is going on here? Well, we've all heard the smart renter argument, right? It goes something like this. Oh, renting is way cheaper and more flexible, and I'll just be disciplined and invest the difference in the stock market. And look, on paper, that sounds super logical. But in reality, there's a massive, massive flaw in that thinking. Because here's the brutal, honest truth. People just don't do it. In the real world, that quote-unquote extra money just gets sucked up by lifestyle creep. It turns into a slightly nicer car, a few more dinners out, a better vacation. The intention to invest is great, but human behavior is a powerful thing and it almost always wins. And that brings us to the real superpower of home ownership. This is the one thing that makes it such an incredible wealth-building machine. It all comes down to one word: leverage. And it's the reason you simply cannot compare the returns of real estate to the stock market. It's not an apples-to-apples game. Let me just walk you through a super simple example so you can see how this works. Say you put $40,000 down to buy a $200,000 house. Okay, with your 40 grand, you now control a $200,000 asset. Now, let's fast forward and the home's value doubles to 400,000. Your profit is 200 grand, but you only put in 40,000. That's a 5x return on your actual cash investment. And this is huge, in a lot of places, that entire profit is completely tax-free. You just can't get that kind of leverage in the stock market. So let's just tackle these common renting arguments head on. People always say, but it costs so much more to own. You have taxes and insurance and repairs. And sure, that's true. But let me ask you, who do you think pays for all of that when you rent? Your landlord does. And then they just bake it right into your rent payment and probably add a little on top for profit. The giant difference is that when you own, every payment you make is also building your wealth, not your landlord's. And really, this all boils down to the most fundamental point of all. You can't live inside a stock portfolio. You have to live somewhere. Housing is not an optional expense. So your monthly housing payment can either be a pure expense that just vanishes into thin air every month, or it can be a forced savings account that's automatically building your net worth. Just think about what that means over your lifetime. Let's say you pay $5,000 a month in rent. Over 20 years, that's $1.2 million. $1 million that you've just spent. And that's if we pretend your rent never ever goes up, which we all know is a complete fantasy. So it really all comes down to this one final question. Over the next 20 years, you are going to spend well over $1 million on housing. That's a fact. The only question is that $1 million going to build your wealth, or is it going to build someone else's? It's your decision.